Well, hello, boys and girls. How are you doing today? I hope that you're having a great day. This is Mr. Brisson, and we're here to do another science lesson. Of course, that's what we do every single time together. And we are almost at the end of the year. In fact, this is the last science standard that we have to cover for this year. Can you believe it? Yes, we have gone through every single thing that you're supposed to learn for fourth grade this year. And we are at the very last one. So let me show you what our learning target for today is so that you know exactly what it is that we're supposed to accomplish by the end of this lesson. Let's read that together. So here's our learning target. I can explain how transportation has improved, providing benefits, decreasing risks, and meeting demand. So it's going to be about advancements in transportation, how it has progressed through time, okay? What was there first and what do we have today? How it has improved in safety and in the amount of money that we pay for it, how it has improved our lives, okay? So all about transportation. What I would like you to do first is I want you to open your notebooks, your science notebooks, or if you keep your notes in a Google Doc, open that document, and I want you to make a list, okay? Make a list of how do we move from place to place nowadays, okay? So all the ways that we move from place to place. So make a list 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and write all the ways that we can go from one place to another, okay? So that would mean all the modes of transportation that we have today, okay? So make a list. Take your time and make the list as long as possible. All right. I'm sure you have a super long list. So this now is time for you to share. You might have something that your classmates don't have. So maybe 3 or 4 students can share their lists and we can compare. So time to share. Well, obviously I was not able to listen to your lists, but I imagine that some of the things that you have there was bicycles, right? We use bicycles to move from one place to another. Did you have cars? Yeah, that's transportation. How about airplanes? I'm sure that was there in one of the lists. And trains? Did anybody have trains? How about what brings you to school every morning? Well, it might be your parents in your car, but if you're not, and if you're not walking, how do you get to school? In a bus, that's right. Another mode is walking, actually. Your legs, your feet. That's another mode of transportation. Did anybody have their horses? Does anybody get to school by horse? I don't think anybody here. I know that in some parts of the world, some students go to school in donkeys. Did anybody have coming to school by horse and carriage? I don't think so. Not here. But if we were in another part of the world, I'm sure that might be a mode of transportation. Did anybody have boats? That's another one. So if you didn't have those on your list, you can add them, okay? You can add some more things to your list. Okay, now that you made that list, what I'd like you to do next is I want you to click on this video, this one right here, Transportation Around the World video, okay? So click on that link. And I want you to watch that video and pay attention to the different ways that people move around in different parts of the world, okay? The different types of transportation. And if you see something that you did not have on your list, you can add it, okay? So click on that video and just watch and add some more things to your list. Pretty interesting video, right? About how people just go from place to place around the world, right? Sometimes we don't realize that there are so many other countries on our planet. and people are different, and people use different, different clothes, different foods, but also different ways of going from place to place. So now we have an idea, right? We know transportation. We know that we use all sorts of ways to go from place to place. But I want to really separate this lesson into two parts. What I want you to do now is, I want you to take some time to do like do a chronological order, okay, of what you know. And this is what I mean by that. So one would be the most ancient way, the oldest way that you think that people moved around, okay, the way that they moved around. And then I want you to do a number 2 and a 3 and a 4, all the way to today, okay? So have like a timeline of transportation. So how did people move around maybe 500 years ago? And then add another 100 years, how did they move around? All the way to today, okay? It doesn't have to be right. You're not using an article, you're not watching a video, it's just what you know, okay? So let's do a kind of like a timeline, organized in chronological order, the different modes of transportation from the oldest to the ones today. So go ahead and do that in your notebooks right now. Well, I don't know exactly what you have there, but I'm sure that somehow you ended up with what we have today. It's airplanes, cars, right? So we have cars today. And what I like to do is, I want us to take a few minutes to actually examine cars, how cars have gotten safer, okay? How have cars improved our life from the first cars to the ones that we have now? How have they been improved, okay? That's what I want to do for just a few minutes. So let's think about that for a moment. How has cars, automobiles, how they have improved from the moment that they were invented until today, okay? So let's concentrate on the safety features of a car, of an automobile. So think of a car and think about all the things that they have for safety. So let's make another list now, and let's think of maybe 5 things that a car has that is there to make us safe, to make us safer, to protect us, okay? So what are some things that a car has to protect us? So make a list, write it down. So what are some of those things that you wrote that a car has for safety? Do you have brakes? You better believe it. That's a safety feature that a car has. That without brakes, imagine what would happen if you're going down a hill. If you didn't have brakes, that's an accident ready to happen. What else do you write there? Something that a car has to make us safer. The steering wheel, right? So that we go where we need to go. What else? That's right, the brake lights. When you brake, the person that is behind you in a car, they know that you're braking. And did anybody have seat belts? Well, that's another safety feature. How about airbags? Did anybody write that? Now, do you think that the very first year when cars were invented, when the first car was manufactured, do you think that that car, that automobile had all of those features? Do you think that it had all of those safety features? What do you think? Did cars have seat belts? Did they have airbags? Did they have the brake lights? What do you think? Were all of those there, or were they added later? Okay, the next thing that I want you to do is I want you to click on this article. It's called A Chronology of Car Safety. Okay, car history. I want you to open that document. Let me show you what it looks like. It's this article, okay? So open that. Now that article gives you a nice timeline of automobile safety, all the features that have been added to automobiles to make it safer for the driver, okay? Or for all the people that are riding in that car. So as you read it, please pay attention to all of those features that have been added year after year to make cars safer, all right? So go ahead and read the article, paying attention, concentrating on the safety features throughout the years. So according to this timeline that you just read, this article, let me ask you something. When were cars safer? Were cars safer when they were first invented or today? And why? Okay? So let's have that discussion right now. So with your classmates, or if you are at home, let's have this discussion. When were cars safer? When they were first invented or today? And justify your reasoning. Okay? So let's have that discussion right now with your classmates or at home. Maybe you might have your mom or dad there, or a little sister or little brother. So whoever you are with, have that discussion. When were cars safer? When they were first invented or today, and why? So if we look at our learning target here, I can explain how transportation has improved, providing benefits, decreasing risks, and meeting demand, right? We have quite a few examples, right from the video to this article, of how it has improved. And I'm sure that when you had that discussion, you mentioned that transportation has gotten safer, right? We have a lot more safety features. And it has gotten actually cheaper. So you would think that the more things that are added, that would make it super expensive. But it has actually become cheaper because we are producing so many, and there are so many automobile factories, okay? So, yeah, engineers really have worked hard to improve on existing technology that we already had, but improving it every day, every year, coming up with new ideas to improve it, okay? So thank you for joining me today for this lesson. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of the day, and I will see you next time. Remember that science is everywhere. Just look for it, okay? Bye-bye.